All right, first, let me start by saying this. In my opinion, Floyd Mayweather is the GOAT of boxing. Number one, his record speaks for itself. He retired with 50 wins, 0 losses. No one has ever retired with that many wins and undefeated in history. So a lot of people say, well, you know, he fought guys past their prime, he handpicked fighters, this, that, and the third. I disagree. You can't fight 20 years and only fight handpicked fighters and guys out of their prime. Don't work like that. Number two, he is the complete fighter. So although he is naturally an outboxer, counterpuncher, he can still do it all. He can fight in the pocket, he can come forward aggressive, he can fight off the ropes. He can do all of that. And that in itself is extremely rare for a fighter. And lastly, he has pimped the game. So what does that mean? So historically in professional boxing, the people who run or represent the fighters historically have exploited fighters, and especially blacks and Hispanics. Floyd Mayweather started his own promotional company, turned the tables around, fought on his terms, actually even dictated most of the terms, and made a boatload of money. So you gotta respect that. So despite all this, I'm still gonna maintain that Floyd Mayweather, his style is not good for amateur fighters. If you're looking to get started in amateur boxing, or you've recently started your boxing career, I'm gonna give you 3 reasons why you should not try to mimic Floyd Mayweather, because it's not gonna be beneficial for you. Number 1 is the pace. Think about it like this. If you're training for a 400-meter dash, are you gonna model the strategy of a 1,500-meter runner or a 400-meter runner? Obviously the 400-meter runner, because the pace of a 1,500-meter runner is not suitable for a 400-meter dash. Likewise, the pace of a 12-round prize fight is not suitable for a 3-round amateur boxing match. It's a lot faster in amateur boxing. Now, if you look at Floyd in his amateur days, he fought at a much faster pace. He threw a lot more punches. He was very aggressive. And even as a counterpuncher, he would throw a lot more punches. So he knew what it took to win as an amateur, and he knew what it took to win as a pro. Number 2 is the style. So everyone knows Floyd as a pro fighter, especially in the second half of his career, was very, you could say, had a very passive aggressive defense. So didn't throw a lot of punches, normally not only engaging when he wanted to, normally not wanting to engage, always kind of backing up, sidestepping. And a lot of the time, throwing a lot of single shots, single jabs, you know, coming in with pot shots, you know, check hooks, stuff like that. So throwing a lot of single shots. In amateur boxing, that's not how you're gonna win fights. You gotta throw volumes of punches, combinations. So again, Floyd was smart. He knew how to confuse his opponents, break them down, always have them guessing. So he could get away with that. But in amateur boxing, he was very busy. In amateur boxing, you need to be very busy. Let's just say you're a 5'10", heavyweight, 230 pounds, like Mike Tyson. You are not built to move like Floyd Mayweather, and it wouldn't be appropriate for you. Your gifts and your body type is different. It wouldn't make sense for you as a small heavyweight to be backing up, being laid back. You'd have to be very aggressive, always coming forward, always trying to close the gap and punish your opponent in the pocket. Let's just say you're a 6'3", 160-pound middleweight. It wouldn't make sense for you to behave like Floyd as a counterpuncher with a passive aggressive defense. It would make more sense to be initiating contact, throwing a lot of jabs, keeping your man at the end of your punches, and punishing them as much as possible every time they try to step into your range, into your close range. In closing, look, we all have our own certain body type and natural ability. Use these God-given talents and qualities that God has given you in a manner that works for you and work them to the best of your ability. Now, with that said, it doesn't mean we can't borrow specific tactics of Floyd and other great fighters. So one example is the check hook. I teach my fighters a check hook. Some of them do it very well. Some of them don't use it. That's fine. A check hook is simply stepping off to the side, throwing your hook and pivoting, Floyd likes to use that to escape off the ropes. However, normally he'll take his time after that. With my fighters, I'll have them throw the check hook, take control of the center of the ring, and then be aggressive after that. So that's one example of certain tactics you can use in amateur boxing while maintaining a very fast pace, throwing a lot of punches, high volume, high energy, and this is how you're gonna win fights. I hope that was helpful. I got a lot of new guys coming in all the time, and they're very confused about this topic, so I felt the need to clarify it. If you found it beneficial, then go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay blessed.